Secure APIs in WSO2 API Manager with Okta Key Manager. Hello everyone, I am Naduni Pamudika, Associate Technical Lead at WSO2. API security is a major aspect in modern API-driven use cases, and API management solutions usually come with their own key management capabilities to handle API security. However, when an organization already has an identity provider which is capable of doing key management, it is preferable to have the same in API management solutions as well. Therefore, an API manager's ability to connect to a third-party key manager to handle API security is very important. From this screencast, you will see how WSO2 API Manager can be configured to use Okta as the key manager. You need to have WSO2 API Manager downloaded and installed. You need to have an Okta developer account. Let's see how to configure Okta first. You need to go to the sign up page of Okta and fill out these details and obtain an instance URL from there. Once you receive the instance URL, you can log into your developer's account providing your credentials. I am giving the username here and the password and clicking on sign in. And in the dashboard, you can see the instance URL I mentioned. Under API Authorization Servers, either you can add a new authorization server or use the default one. I am going to use the default authorization server available, and I am going to add a new scope for that server. I am giving the name as default and the description as default scope and ticking set as a default scope and clicking on create. And then you need to have an access policy defined. I'm going to use the already available default policy and the default policy role too. And under API tokens, you need to create a new token to be used in the WSO2 API Manager side. So I'm giving the name as API token and click on create token, and I'm going to copy it to clipboard to be used later on. And finally, you need to create an application. I'm going to add application from here and use the type as web and click on next. And I'm going to give Okta test app as the name of my application. And going to select client credentials as the grant type and clicking on done. Now you have done all the configurations needs to be done in the Okta side. When you go to the API authorization servers, you can see the default authorization server available and all the details like this. Now you are going to configure WSO2 API Manager. In order to do that, you need to log into the admin console of WSO2 API Manager. Go to Key Managers, add Key Manager and give your authorization server's name as the name and give any name as the display name. I am giving Okta as the display name and select the Key Manager type as Okta. And for the well-known URL, you need to provide the metadata URL of your authorization server. So I am going to the authorization servers and select on my default authorization server and copying the metadata URL and pasting it back here. And when clicking on import, as you can see, it will fill up all the details. And for the API key, you need to put the token generated from the Okta side. And for the client ID and client secret, go to applications and select on the created application Okta test app and copy the client ID and the client secret from there. Paste the client ID here and the client secret. Okay, now click on add. Now you have added the Okta Key Manager. Now we are going to generate keys using Okta Key Manager. To do that, go to Dev portal of WSO2 API Manager and go to Applications. You can either use an existing application or create a new application. I'm going to create a new application. Click on Add New Application as Test App and click on Save. Okay, so under Production Keys, you can see both the key manager types are available, Resident Key Manager and Okta. So under Okta, I'm going to select code as the grant types and give a callback URL, and select web as the application type, and for the response type I'm going to give code and click on generate keys. Now as you can see, I have generated the access token from the Okta Key Manager side, and now I'm going to invoke an API using that generated token. So I'm going to an API, subscribe to the test applications just created, and under production keys I can see the already generated keys available for the Okta Key Manager side like this, and I'm going to try out this API. So I need to provide the copied token to this test app and pasting it here, and like this we can try it out. Click on execute. Okay, like this you can invoke an API using the token generated. Thank you.